Welcome to Think and Act Locally, where we are all about getting real, actionable information for our communities right here in Deer Park, LaPorte, and Pasadena. Today, we're diving into something that affects every single one of us, the air we breathe. So let's just start with the most basic question you can ask, right? How good is our air quality, really? It sounds simple, but the answer has a huge impact on our health every single day. And that's really what we're all about today. This whole explainer is designed to help you ask the right questions, because that's always the very first step toward finding real answers and making a change.
Okay, first up, let's get into Section 1, Sources and Health Impacts. Before we can even think about solutions, we've got to know what's actually in our air and, just as important, where it's all coming from.
So the first step is to really identify the sources right here in our corner of Southeast Houston. And they are all around us. I'm talking about the daily traffic on our highways, the local industry, and even agricultural activities happening nearby. So when health experts dig into our air quality data, they're not just looking at one thing. They're usually focused on a few key troublemakers. And these are the big four they're most often concerned about. Let's just zoom in on one of these for a second. Particulate matter, or PM. This stuff is a really big deal because the particles are so incredibly tiny, they can actually sneak past your body's defenses, get deep into your lungs, and sometimes even into your bloodstream. Look, this isn't just about numbers and data on a chart. This is about our health, our kids' health, and the well-being of our whole community. So what are the actual real-world effects of the pollution levels around us? And the science here is becoming clearer and clearer. There's a really serious connection. We're seeing more and more evidence that links poor air quality directly to making conditions like asthma and heart disease even worse for people, right here in our neighborhoods. So that brings us to Section 2, Measuring and Meeting Standards. We know the pollutants, we know the risks, but how do we actually know what our air quality is on any given day? How do we get the numbers? Well, it's a whole system. Our air is constantly being tracked by a network of official monitoring stations, plus more and more smaller pollution sensors. All that information, all those readings, get collected and analyzed so we can spot trends over time. And all that data isn't just collected for fun, right? It's compared against the official safety standards that are set by the government to protect our health. So the million-dollar question becomes, are we meeting those standards here in our community? But we have to dig even deeper than that. Is the air quality the same on one side of town as it is on the other? We have to ask if some of our communities, some of our neighborhoods, are carrying a much heavier burden than others. Okay, understanding the problem, the sources, the risks, that's the first half of the puzzle. Now let's pivot to the most important part, the really empowering part. What can we actually do about it? If we really want to be effective, we can't just try to do everything at once. We have to be strategic. So where should we focus our energy? Should we be targeting transportation emissions, industrial sources, or something else entirely? And the truth is, there's no single silver bullet. Making real, lasting improvement takes a joint effort. It has to come from government action, from choices we make as citizens, and from big, forward-thinking, innovative solutions. So what does all that mean for you and me, as individuals? Well, here's a really powerful 4-step path we can all take, moving from just understanding the problem to actually advocating for real change. This quote right here, this just captures the entire spirit of what we're about. This isn't about one person trying to solve everything. It's about all of us, together, using good information to build that healthier community we all deserve. The questions we've gone over today, they're really just the starting line, not the finish line. The real journey begins now, when we take this framework and we start demanding local answers. So what's the next question you're going to ask? Our entire mission at Think and Act Locally is to hunt down the answers to these kinds of questions, specifically for Deer Park, LaPorte, and Pasadena. If you find value in this work and you want to support our search for local data and solutions, please consider visiting thinkandactlocally.com/donate. And we would absolutely love to get your feedback on this explainer. My email is david@thinkandactlocally.com.